Welcome to Deep Thought. Tough to walk in truth. Now, on my previous podcast, I said the truth will always emerge. And, I alluded to it's always best to be authentic. But that's not easy. That is not easy. Look, I told y'all when I was younger, found out like everybody else. If you tell something, it's going to emerge. Okay, fine. It's better to be truthful. It's better to be authentic. And, I've gotten to that point. I'm authentic. Hey, if you ask a question, I'm either going to answer you directly or show you directly. Or if it's something I don't want to share, I'll just say, okay, I got to keep that to myself. But I ain't going to lie to you. Right? But that's tough to do. That's tough to do. Say you some guy out here, right? You some guy out here. You got the perfect woman at home. You got the perfect woman. She do everything. She take care of you. She massage you. She cook for you. She believe in your dream. She back that thing up in the bedroom. She perfect. And then you walking along, bopping along, and then that real fine woman come in. She come in. She got everything you want physically. And for everything the woman you got does, this woman look like she'll do it better. It's hard to tell you. It's hard to tell that woman, like, you got somebody. I'm going to share a story. I'll never forget this one. Now, I've mentioned before, I've worked on 1,000 jobs. So I was working on this retail job, right? And I was married at the time. There was a oh my gosh, she was fine as hell. She was fine as hell, man. Oh my God. Man, she was just it. She one of those women I love to run into her now. I love to run into her. But see, when I met her then, she was fine. She was friendly. She had everything I would want. Like seriously, she had everything I would want in a woman. The body, the temperament, everything. What she was trying to do in life. I was like, man, I was like, shoot. And I remember she gave me a hug one time. And it wasn't a church hug. It wasn't a church hug. It was, she grinded on me. I was like, oh, shit. And I had to tell that woman, I was like, I ain't tell her right then. But then next time I saw her, I mentioned my wife. I mentioned I was married, And I was like, it was a long story. It was a tough period for us, and my ring was probably in a pawn shop, so I didn't have a ring on. And it was an interesting situation. It was interesting. You had this fine young girl grind up on you, just make it clear with her actions what she wanted, and I had to let her know I was married. Think about this. How many men could do that? But it was truth. And you had to just be like, look, you got to. You know how hard that is on a basic level? Because a lot of guys wouldn't have did the same situation. And there was other times I did that too. I remember when I was working in this gym and all these women were showing interest, and, I just brought the wife through one time just to walk through and make sure everybody saw her. And say, oh yeah, that's the gym and everything. That's still tough. It would have been easy to hook up with some of those women. It would have been easy. Tell them the requisite lie why they couldn't come over to my place. Do something. I guess but still did it anyway. And that's just a relationship thing, because that's where a lot of the lies come anyway for most people. But it could be anything. I've talked about the whole thing on social media. I mean, a lot of people saying they this, but, it's tough for them to say, nah, this is what's happening. This is what it is. It's tough. And, the thing is because we live in a world we live in a world where it was we live in a world where there's so many masks going about. There's so many lies. People's egos don't want to like say, hey, I'm having trouble with this. It's tough. It's tough. That's one of the toughest things, just to be authentic. It is. It is. You know, this whole thing is about masks. I remember, and I saw this in the mid 90s. A couple of the first books I wrote, one was called Sell Out, and the other one was called Mask. And that was both the theme of it. Because even when you working, got somebody loud outside. Even when you working, think about it, you wearing a little bit of a mask, you know, because you can't be cursing out your boss. You know, that's hard sometimes, especially if you work in customer service. You can't curse them out, or, you know, you working in a government office, politics, like office politics. You know, there's a lot of bullshit that got going. You know, it's hard just to be honest and tell somebody about themselves because you might be out of a job or just going down the street or whatever. And then some people, you know, because they say they don't want to hurt someone's feelings, you know, they might tell white lies. That's a big thing too. You know, somebody ask them an honest question and they don't tell them honestly. Because, you know, we don't want to hurt. You know, we don't want to hurt anybody. You know, there was a woman I told, very pretty, but, I mean, as hard as it was to say this to her, I said she, you know, she was pretty, but not really sexy. Oh, that was hard. That was hard. She's gotten over that, though. Oh, yeah. But that's hard. That's hard. That's hard because, you know, you walk in with the mask on because your ego tells you to protect yourself. And then, you know, if you got a good heart, you don't want to hurt any people. You don't, it's tough. And it's tough to walk in and just to be truthful out here. Just to be truthful. And the truthful ain't so much going around and telling everybody your business and stuff. Like I said, if somebody would ask me something and I don't feel like sharing it with them, I'll just say, I have to keep that to myself. You know, that's honest. That's authentic. Instead of just telling them a blatant lie. You know? And it's tough because, you know, the lies are rewarded out here in a way. You know, somebody go on a job that they don't really like, but they got enough skill to work it well, and, you know, they're being evaluated. So, yeah, I love this. It's like, instead of saying, you know what, I'm trying to get off this joint. You ain't going to go in an interview and say that. You got to say, oh, yeah, I like this job and everything. You know, it's like, shoot, it's tough. And in fact, when you talk about that job thing, that's one of the reasons why I'm self-employed, because I said I can't anymore. Because that's one thing, you authentic, you can't, you know. If somebody asks me something, or now, I was like, shit, I'm not worried about the outcome, not even the money outcome. I've actually told, like, when selling my books, I've actually, like, somebody hit me up, a commenter hit me up, he said, well, why should I buy your stuff? You know, convince me. And I said, I ain't convinced you. I already told you. You can see from these videos and what I've said what my books are about. You either take it or leave it. You know, because I said even for money, I'm going to be authentic. And that was just an authentic answer to this person. I was just like, you either like it or you don't. I'm not going to try to convince you to get it. You know? But I said be authentic. If I wasn't authentic, and then I'd tell them a bunch of stuff. And, you know, even if I'm telling them the authentic stuff, it's still, though, you know, the truth is, I put the information out there, ain't nothing else I need to say, you know. But it's tough to do that. It's the hardest thing. It's difficult. It is. Only way I say is just work on it every day. Work on taking off that mask every day, confronting that lie every day. Stop lying to yourself. That's the main thing. Don't lie to yourself. Don't embrace the lie yourself. Every single day, walk towards that thing you need to do. Every single day, no exceptions. And it's even then, you get to a point where you're authentic. It's still tough because it's easy to slip back. Situations happen. It can be challenging. It's tough. That's a lifelong thing. It ain't just like you just be authentic and boom. Few people can be that because there's so many factors going on that, you know, you might have to hold back on something anyway. You know, there's so many factors, and it's easy to slip back into, like, the world of the lie. So, anyway, something to think about. Anyway, I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.